In electrical doing, we have some components such as selector, sutures, relays and so on. Component is a block that has special attributes. Now we are going to learn how to insert and work with them in a drawing. You can insert the schematic components by using ICAM menu. You can find it and in the components panel of a schematic tab. Now, I selected and the insert components window is displayed. And the left side of the window, you can see the menu area, which represents the categorized components. And each folder represents a special symbol components. It is possible to click on the nose to expand the symbols here in the schematic symbols area. You can see the icons which correspond to the components in the menu area. Some components like push buttons, fuses, relays and so on. For example, in selector switches component, you can see several icons or symbols which are related to it. And the downside of our window, we have many options. The vertical option is used to insert components vertically and it is clear by default. You can specify the scale of the schematic drawing, which a component is inserted. You can also enter the block name of the component and type it here in added box and search it to find the desired component. And here, when you select this checkbox, the previously opened or use menu will be available and it is clear by default. So I select an icon and here in the command line, I will be asked to specify insertion point. So I click at the point that I want to insert my components. Now we know, which is named insert and added component will be shown for me. In the description area, you can specify your component description, and we have here 3 lines. Or 3 added boxes. I'm going to enter a desired description for my component. After that, here we have 2 Watkins, OK and OK, repeat, if you don't want to repeat your component. You can select OK, Watson, but if you select the repeats OK button, the other component will be inserted. Again. No one to choose. OK, both and then insert. As you say, the component and its description have been created. Sometimes you decide to use the car's description in order component, which is available in your drawing and is a specifies description to your new components. For example, here, I want to pick this description and specify it to this component here, so I just select my component and then click right on it. To do that, I have to choose the added components here. As you see, the added components dialog box will be displayed for me. So in the description area, I would choose the pick button and then I will back the command line and see here, which asks me to select components. So I choose another component to pick is description after that. Again, the added box will be shown for me and just by clicking on OK button, the new description will be specified to my component, which is the same as this component I have. Also, it is possible to assign the description to your component from the other descriptions which are available in drawings, all in A. To tell you more details, again, I want to specify the other description to this component, but now I want to choose it from the project. So I select the components and then click on it and choose the Edit Components and Description area. I have Project option, and when I choose it, a list of components exist here, which are same as the one I have chosen and with another tag and description which are available in the project. So I set the description that I want to assign to my components and click on the OK button. Again, can we go on? OK. So finally you have the description which is assigned. Also it is possible to assign you description by the list of components in whole of the drawing. So to show you this way, I'm going to select the components and then added components. And in this section, instead of choosing project, I'm going to choose drawing. As you can see, a list of components are here which are available in this drawing, so I choose one of them and then click on the OK button twice and your description is assigned for me. You may need to edit here inserted component and change the features that you have assigned to it. So to do that, you can use masking menu. Therefore just click on your component and then click and menu will be displayed and the added component is available here. After choosing added component, the added component dialog box will be opened in the component tag area. You can specify a tag for the component or also added a tag which exists. Not that the component tag should be unique. The other option is a schematic and panel which help us to insert the tags which had been used for the components and attach them to the new components. In other hand, when you select, for example, schematic, all the tags which had been used before are listed here and you can select each one that you want to copy, then the copy tag window will be shown. And here is asking to override the existing tag or not. If you select the OK button there in your component, tag will change to one you have chosen. The other option panel is same as the schematic, which help you to select use panel tags for new components. You can also select the component tag from the external list here. The next area is Catholic data area. These two options, manufacturer and catalog area, are used in reports. The lookup button can help us to select a needed manufacturer code. And also the catalog number here I'm going to select lookup within the catalog browser will be shown. And this box is first to information from the catalog database of the components here. You can see the catalog and the manufacturer call them. The description of component and also type and the style for each one is mentioned here. We have categories that help us to select the components category, and this drop-down list, you can select the desired one. Then in the search field, you can search your record components based on the keywords that you have. Type here. There are three ways to answer the keywords. The first one is specifying it in a quotation mark when writes, and this method, you will have the exact keyword in any column after searching. The other method is using or between your keyboards. It means that you will have either of the specified keyboards. The third one is using the simple word and a search field, so finally you will have all the words which may not to be together. Select data that you want to and choose Doc Watson here in the manufacturer and catalog and box. The data have been inserted, therefore, by writing your keywords and then pressing the search button. Some results which are related to your keyword can be displayed here. No, I'm going to choose a catalog and also press OK button here in the manufacturer and catalog field. You can see the data which I had selected. Based on your requirements, sometimes you want to assign pin numbers to your component. For example, here I have a component which has 2 pins and the numbers are assigned. Here to create such this attribute, you can just use pins area in the Edit Component dialog box. So I'm going to open the Added Component dialog box again to do that. I want to use marking menu. Therefore, I just click on the component that I need to assign pin number. Then right-click on it. And I selected Added Components. After that, the added box will be shown and in the pens area, we have 1 and 2 added boxes beside. This added boxes, you can see the arrow buttons which are located here and can be used to increase or decrease the values in the edit boxes. After death, by pressing a button, the pin numbers, as shown here, are assigned to the component. The other matter to reserve components is using Catalytic Browser to do that. You can use ICAM menu that is located and insert Components panel and select a Catalytic Browser. As you see, the Cantaloupe Browser dialog box will be shown. The first field is Category, which can help us to select our desired category from its drop-down list. For example, here, the PCB is a category of all the push buttons, the second one is Search field, which can make it possible to find the exact components based on the database and keywords that you insert in this field. So by clicking on the search, all the Catholic associated with the category and keywords that you inserted are listed here. And the right side of the window, a tool is available which can edit the Catholic database. Click on it, and then the list becomes yellow. Just by right-clicking on HRO that you want, it is possible to edit copy cards or delete the row of your catalog. Select each Catholic that you want and just double-click on it. Therefore, in the command line, you will be prompted to insert the point. Click on wherever you want to place your component and finally choose OK to place your selected components. After inserting your desired component, sometimes you will need to change its values, such as tag, description and so on. So to edit these features, the marking menu can be used. You can just right-click on the component and then select Added Component option. The Insert Added Component dialog box will be shown and based on your need, you can change every feature. For example, in the leather and component that I have inserted, I want to change the tag name, so I type the new tag. And then by choosing the OK partner, it will be done. To change the location of the component or is a tool which can help us to move components to choose. This tool, I'm going to add components panel and then in modify components, I select a tool. This tool makes it possible to reposition electrical objects in the command line. You will be prompted to select the components or wire. No, because I want to skirt this component. I have to click on it and then move it to my desired point or location. I agree on this point, and the components will be placed. Here it is obvious that you can move component in the orthogonal direction. You can see that the wires are reconnected after scooting this components for this escape to exit the commands. I know they're ready to change the location of the component is using move commands, so to do that, you have to click on your component and then click on it, then choose the move components. Finally click on the point to place the component. And as part because you have moved the component to the new line or friends at the lockbox will be opened. If you want to tag or change the tag of your components based on the new line reference, you can choose OK to recheck your components and a line of friends of the move component will change to the new line reference that you have here. But if you decide to not change the component tag by choosing no return button, it can be done. Now I want to retract my component, so I choose OK to attack, and you can see the new line reference is attached as a tag of the component. As you can see, you could place it wherever you want, which is the difference between move and the Squirtle. You will often need to insert many components at a time, such as this case that displays several components. To explain the procedure to create, such as the substance. Here I have a ladder and I want to add many components to this ladder, Simon, tenuously. So here I go to Insert Components panel and choose the multiple Insert ICAM menu to choose my desired components. I'm going to choose it and then I will be prompted in the command line to specify component fence because I want to insert the components from up to the down side of my ladder. Same as this case. Therefore, I create a fence from up to down. I click on this point because I want to add components to the whole of the ladder. I choose the point outside of it and click on this point. And the last step I press into to terminators and the dialog box will be displayed for me in the shown dialog box. We have many options. The first one tells us to keep this components or not. When you select this, it keeps the inserted component, and after that the added component dialog box will be displayed. And this part you can edit the features or add them. And after doing that by choosing OK, but in the clip window will be opened for another time. As you know, the previous component has been added to the ladder. And in this step, you need to decide about the inserting other components if you have decided to insert the next component, same as the previous method. I mean, opening the dialog box for another time after inserting the components, you can choose the first option again. But if you want to add all the components without opening the window for all the time, the second option can be used. By choosing this option, you will not be asked for another time to explain how this option works. I'm going to select it. And here you can see the inserted component and opened Edit Components dialog box. The point is that the cube window is not open in this part and will not ask you. In the star, look, boss, you can edit the features of your component and then by choosing, OK. Both in the component is inserted and the older added component dialog box will be open, which belongs to the new component that you decide to insert it. The procedure will be continued until all the components are inserted. All the while selecting the Cancel button in each step, inserting Herstoff components will be cancelled. Finally, all the inserted components are available here. Now I'm going to explain about the other option, therefore I choose the multiple inserts, ICAM and then creates my fans. The window is opened and the other option is here. You may want to escape some rows or wrongs and do not insert the component in them. So by selecting this button, it will be skipped. I do it and you can see the escape Tron. Not that it is possible to avoid the opening added component dialog box by unchecking this option. I do that and you can see that the edit component dialog box will not be shown. In this section, we are going to learn about the necessary feature, which is practical electrical drawings. As you know, in electronics devices, we have components that are made of several parts. For example, a relay consists of contact beside it. So if you notice, you can say that their relationship is such a parent and child. For example, a relay can act as a parent and a contact can be as a child. And the information from the parents will automatically be transferred to the child's. To show you how the procedure can be done, first of all, I'm going to choose a component, so I select. I command U and here I am going to choose a relay coil. After inserting components and then we have added component dialog box and it is possible to assign your desired features to your component, such as components, like description, and so on. By choosing OK, you can insert your coil. Here we have our attribute, which is specify normally open and normally close of contact, and if you want to, you can move it near to the coil. So just select it and right click on it and choose attributes and move it at the command line. You will be prompted to select the attribute that you want to move. So I'm going to choose it and then click on that side part on the screen. So back to command line, which says select a base point, then choose the point that you want to move. It's in the next step, I'm going to insert the contact, so for the all the time I choose, I can menu and then in insert component dialog box I select contacts and relays and I will choose relay contacts, which I prefer again, in the command line. I will be asked to specify insertion points. So I click on the point that I want to locate my components, that a child component dialog box will be opened. Now we have added a child component which can make it possible to specify a tag or description to the component. And here we have parent sibling option. By choosing this option, you need to select component to be as a parent. So I select this button. Then in the command line I will be asked to select a component that I want to be as a parent. I do that and its child component dialog box will be displayed for the second time. Was just in the tank field of component tank area, this selective tag is written here, which represents the parent component back by choosing OK bots, and we can see that the reference number or tag of a child is the same as the parent component reference number. And the tag of child component is attached to the attributes of parent components. Therefore they are related to each other. Now I want to change the location of child component and bring it to this part, so I move it and place it here. As you can see, the attributes of parent component has changed. Again, to show you the other case, I'm going to change the location of n components. As you see, the tag of parent component has changed based on the reference number of child, so it means that the attributes of these two components are related to each other, or in the other hand, are linked together. To copy component and inserted to the new specified location, you can choose to copy components to from the Edit Components panel. After that, you will be asked to select a component to copy it, then click on wherever you want to place your component. On doing so, the Insert Added Component dialog box will be shown so you can enter your desired values. If you enter new values, then the copied component will be updated automatically. Then choose the OK button to do that. Now I'm going to copy a child component and explain it more. If you copy the child component again, you will be asked to select the parent's components, and as you can see, the copied component will get new reference number based on the parent component you have selected. Two orange components, vertically or horizontally, you can use Align to the Line tool is located in the Added Components panel of the schematic top. After choosing the Align tool then and the command line, you will be prompted to select the components. The component which you select for the first time act as a master component, and you have to select the other components to arrange them based on the location of master components. So I click on this point and then I need to choose the other components that I want to be aligned based on the location of the master components. After selecting my desired component, I press enter and finally all the components will be lined up. You will often need to remove a component from your drawing, therefore you have to use the live component. To select this, to go to Added Components panel and choose Data. And finally, you have to select the object that you want to be deleted. So select it and then proceed to this selected component will be deleted and the voyeur will be reconnected. 2. Sometimes you need to hide or unhide attributes, add some attributes, stretching or rotating them, and the other changes which are related to them. I'm going to show you how to edit attributes. The first thing that I'm going to do is moving them to do that just by right-clicking on the component and choosing Attributes. The Move attributes will be displayed here. After choosing Move attributes, you need to select attributes that you have decided to move. So click on them and then click on somewhere on the screen. And this is step. You have to specify a base point, do it and then place it wherever you want by clicking on your desired point. To edit the tribute, there is a tool to do that, so just right-click on the tribute, then select the Edit Attributes, then we will back to the command line. And as you see here, it is written to select the attributes that you want to edit. And then here you can see a dialog box, which is Name Added Attributes. You can type in your name and also it is possible to select the attributes from the current drawing. Therefore, to do this part you can use Pick and. To show you the example here, I'm going to select the Pick button. I'm doing so in the command line. I will be prompted to select existing tax, so I'm going to choose it. Then the Added Attributes dialog box will be displayed by selecting the OK button. The text, which you had selected, will be attached to the attribute and it will be changed. The other feature is hiding or unhiding again. I'm going to choose attributes and here I want to hide it. So I selected and again in the command line I will be asked to select the attribute that I decide to hide it. I do that. And finally, you can see that is hidden. This command will be continued until you press escape. Something that you have to pay attention here is that when you select a graphic of a block, a dialog box, which is Show Hide Attributes will be displayed for you. The names, which have a stars beside themselves are visible in the drawing, so to make them invisible, you can select them. Alternatively, the names which don't have the stars beside themselves indicate invisible names, and by choosing them, they will become visible. Here, I'm going to choose a name which is A and make it visible. So I select this one, which has not star beside it, and then the OK button here, the hidden name will be displayed for me. Also, there is another way to honor guard attributes. First of all, I'm going to hide an attribute, and then unhide it. Now I hide an attribute. And then to unhide it, I'm going to Edit Components panel and choose the Unhide Attributes too. And I will be asking the command line to select the objects. After choosing it, I'm going to press Enter and then a new dialog box will be displayed for me. And this is a step I will select the name of the attribute, which is hidden, if you want to unhide more than one attribute which are listed here, you can press Ctrl and choose more than one attribute. So I'm going to choose this attribute. And then by OK button, it will be done. Here are the hidden attribute as shown. Sometimes you will need to add attribute to the existing electrical block, so to do that, you can go to the Edit Components panel and then in the Modified drop-down choose Add Attribute. We'll get back to the command line and here you can see Select Object command, so I'm going to choose the object and then Add as a dialog box will be shown. Here you can specify the name and the value and all the features of your new attributes. I'm going to type a name and specify a value for it, and then by choosing the OK button, I will be prompted to specify a location to place the new attributes. I click on the point that I want, and then it is placed here. Now to show you the detail of this new added attributes, I'm going to select the attributes list edit. And here you can see a list of names and the values which belong to each attributes and the new attribute. And its value here can be seen. In this section, we are going to learn about multiple boss. To draw multiple wire, the multiple boss tool is used. One of the uses of this tool is creating three-phase multiple. Borstal is located in the insert wire while your numbers panel, after choosing the multiple wire boss. Dialog box will be displayed for you for a specified a distance of 2 agents and wire use a spacing. Edit box, as you can see here, to pass horizontal and vertical spacing are displayed here by default. 0.5 is displayed in this added box. Click onto space and get the box to determine the horizontal and vertical distance between wires. To start busboys of the component, multiple voyeurs Boston is used now. Chuziak Boston. Each component has connection points in order to be connected to other component by the wire, therefore, the cross points are shown here which represent the connection points. To draw multiple wires, you will be requested to create a window to determine what kind of wire connection points, because I want to cover and connect all the connection points. I drew a window that covers all the cross points. The connection points become bolder and press enter. Watson, 3 words will be drawn and you can terminate them at the points you want. To explain about the other options, initial step I back to the multiple boss. To hear another selection that I want to talk about is another boss multiple wars, which stars the boss from the existing wire. Select another boss, and then press OK. As you see in the command line, select existing wire to begin multi-phase boss connection. To explain about this part, I have drawn this wire before, so I click on this wire multi-phase boss connection. Will betrail choose the point that you want to terminate and first escape. Also, you can apply to multiple bombs, to the multiple wire. To explain it in detail, back to the multiple boss tool and choose another bus option. And then because I want to insert 3 wires, I need to have number 3 in the number of wire added box. Then I choose OK, Watson. And this is step. I want to apply the multiple bars to this 3-phase bars that I have drawn before. As you see the command line, you are prompted to select existing wire to begin. Therefore, I click on this wire, then trip wires will be shown, and to terminate it, I click on this point. The gap will be exerted on each point that crosses the existing via. Another option in multiple wasta is empty space, go horizontal. Choose it now and you will be requested to specify staff point here. Click on your desired points multiple. While your boss is drawn just horizontally at this moment, to specify the endpoint and terminated where you want. As you see, the horizontal multiple wire bars will be inserted into the drawing. If you want to drill multiple water bus vertically, you have to just select empty space, go vertical. option and repeat the procedure to drill wire bars vertically. Another option in multiple water bus is number of wires to specify the number of wires that you want to insert into the drawing. The number of wires added box is used. It can be done by inserting the number of wires and the number of wires added box. If you choose the 2, 3, or 4 in the number of wires added box, the number of wire boss will change, same as the number of wires. For example, if you enter a tree in the number of wires added box, a 3-phase buzz wire will be created.